You know what's wild? Right now, under your feet there's an entire universe you can't see. Billions of tiny workers breaking down dead stuff and turning it into the most powerful plant food on Earth. And most people, they're doing it completely wrong. I'm talking about compost. But not the sad, smelly pile in your backyard that's been sitting there for 6 months doing absolutely nothing. I'm talking about real compost. The kind that actually works. The kind that transforms your garden from okay to absolutely incredible. And listen, I get it, you probably started a compost pile at some point. Maybe you're doing it right now. You throw your kitchen scraps out there, some leaves, maybe some grass clippings. You feel good about it because you're reducing waste, you're being environmentally conscious. But then weeks go by, months go by, and that pile, it's just sitting there like a lumpy mess. Maybe it smells weird, maybe it's attracting flies, maybe it's completely dry and nothing's happening at all. You start to wonder if you're doing something wrong. You see other people online with this beautiful, dark, crumbly compost that looks like expensive potting soil. And you're standing there looking at your pile thinking, what am I missing here? Here's the thing that nobody tells you. Compost isn't just about throwing vegetable scraps in a bin and waiting. There's actual science happening in there. Like legitimate chemical reactions and biological processes that would blow your mind if you could see them up close. We're talking about temperature changes, pH shifts, microbial explosions that would rival anything you'd see in a petri dish in a lab. Most gardening advice makes it sound so simple, just pile stuff up and nature does the rest. But that's like saying cooking is just applying heat to food. Technically true, but it misses everything that matters. The timing, the ratios, the conditions that separate something amazing from something barely edible. And once you understand how this works, once you see what's really going on inside compost that actually functions the way it should, you'll never look at dirt the same way again. You'll start seeing your garden as this living, breathing ecosystem instead of just a place where plants grow. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what's happening inside compost that actually works. We're going to talk about why most people's compost fails, even when they think they're doing everything right. And I'm going to show you how you can tap into this invisible world to grow plants that are healthier, stronger, and way more productive than anything you've grown before. We're going deep on the science, but I promise I'm going to make it simple. No complicated jargon, no boring textbook stuff. Just real, practical understanding of what makes compost work so you can use this knowledge immediately. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you're going to understand more about soil biology than most farmers. You're going to know exactly what those microbes need, how to create the perfect environment for them, and why this matters so much more than just dumping fertilizer on your plants. Let's dive in. Alright, so here's where it gets interesting. Inside every piece of organic matter, there are two main elements that matter: carbon and nitrogen. Think of carbon as the energy source. It's in all your brown stuff. Dry leaves, cardboard, wood chips, paper, straw. Nitrogen is like the protein. It's in your green stuff. Grass clippings, food scraps, coffee grounds, fresh plant trimmings. Now, the microbes that do all the heavy lifting in compost, they need both. But here's the catch. They need them in the right ratio. And this is where most people mess up completely. The magic number is about 30-1. That means 30 parts carbon to 1 part nitrogen. When you hit that sweet spot, those microbes go absolutely crazy. They multiply like mad, they heat things up, and they start breaking down everything at lightning speed. But let me tell you what happens when you get this wrong, because I guarantee you've probably experienced at least one of these scenarios. Too much carbon? Your pile just sits there, it's cold. Nothing happens. You come back 3 months later and your leaves look exactly the same as when you put them in. It might take years to break down, because there's not enough nitrogen to fuel the microbial party. Those bacteria need nitrogen to build their bodies, to reproduce, to have the energy to do their work. Without it, they're basically starving, and your compost pile becomes this slow, sad process that tests your patience. Too much nitrogen? Now you've got a different set of problems. Your pile gets slimy. It starts to smell like death, like something crawled in there and died. That's because, without enough carbon to balance things out, the nitrogen converts to ammonia, and you get this gross, anaerobic situation that nobody wants. Your neighbors start complaining. Flies show up. It becomes this disgusting mess that makes you want to give up on composting altogether. I see this all the time with people who compost mostly kitchen scraps. They're adding tons of nitrogen-rich material, banana peels, coffee grounds, vegetable trimmings, but they're not balancing it with enough brown material, and they wonder why their bin smells terrible. But when you get it right, when that ratio is balanced, magic happens. The pile heats up to like 140, 150 degrees Fahrenheit. Hot enough to kill weed seeds and bad pathogens. Hot enough that you can actually feel the heat radiating off it on a cool morning. That heat isn't coming from nowhere. That's pure microbial activity. That's billions of organisms eating, breathing, reproducing, all at once. The microbes are thriving, reproducing, eating, pooping, dying, and becoming part of this incredible living system. They're like tiny factories, taking complex organic molecules and breaking them down into simpler forms. And here's what's really cool. As these microbes work, they're not just breaking things down, they're building something. They're creating humus. That dark, rich, crumbly stuff that smells like a forest floor after rain. That's not just dead plant matter anymore. That's not just rotted garbage. That's a complete ecosystem packed into every handful. That's living soil, and it's worth more to your plants than any synthetic fertilizer you could buy. Now let's talk about something most people completely ignore. Oxygen. This is huge. This is the difference between compost that works and compost that becomes a disgusting swamp. The best microbes for composting, the ones that work fast and create great soil, they need oxygen. They're called aerobic bacteria. These are the workhorses you want. They're efficient, they're fast, and they create compost that smells good, like earth and forest floor. Without air they die off, and the bad guys take over. The anaerobic bacteria that create that rotten egg smell and turn your pile into sludge. These bacteria work in environments without oxygen, and the byproducts they create are nasty. We're talking hydrogen sulfide, methane, all these compounds that smell terrible and aren't helpful for your plants. This is why turning your compost matters. It's not just busy work. It's not some made-up step to make composting seem harder than it is. Every time you turn it, you're pumping oxygen deep into the pile. You're feeding those good bacteria and keeping the bad ones from taking over. You're essentially resetting the system, bringing fresh air to parts of the pile that might be going anaerobic. Some people get around this by building their piles with structure. They add twigs or use compost bins with air holes. Others turn their piles every few days. Either way, oxygen is the key. Without it, you're dead in the water. Or more accurately, you're stuck with smelly, slimy mess. But here's where it gets really mind-blowing. We're not just talking about bacteria here. In healthy compost, you've got this entire food web developing. You've got bacteria, sure, thousands of different species, each one specialized for breaking down different materials, but you've also got fungi threading through everything like tiny highways, creating these massive networks that connect different parts of your pile. You've got protozoa, these single-celled organisms hunting the bacteria, controlling their populations, nematodes gliding through the water films between particles, some eating bacteria, some eating fungi, some even eating other nematodes. And if you let it mature enough, you get bigger creatures moving in, springtails jumping around, mites crawling through the tunnels, beetles munching on larger pieces, worms pulling material deeper and mixing everything together. Each one of these organisms is doing something important. The bacteria and fungi are the primary decomposers. They're breaking down the tough stuff, the cellulose and lignin that make up plant cell walls. These are complex molecules that most creatures can't digest, but these microbes have special enzymes that can tear them apart. As they eat and multiply, they're locking nutrients into their bodies, storing them temporarily. Then the predators come in. The protozoa eat the bacteria. The nematodes eat the fungi. And here's the beautiful part. When these predators eat, they can't use all the nutrients in their prey. So, they release the excess as plant-available nitrogen and other nutrients. It's this incredible cycle where death feeds life feeds death feeds life, over and over. And this is what most commercial fertilizers completely miss. They give you the nutrients, sure, the nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, but they give you nothing living. No biology, no food web, no ecosystem. Just chemicals that plants can absorb, but nothing that builds soil for the long term. So here's what all this means for your actual plants. When you add regular fertilizer, you're basically spoon-feeding your plants. You're giving them nutrients in a form they can use right away, which sounds good. But there's a problem. Those nutrients wash away. They leach through the soil. With the first heavy rain, your plants become dependent on you constantly adding more. It's like they're on life support instead of actually thriving on their own. But when you add real compost, especially compost, that's rich in all these microbes we've been talking about, you're not just feeding your plants, you're building a system, you're creating living soil that works for you even when you're not there. Those microbes keep working after you add the compost. They keep breaking down organic matter that's already in your soil. They keep releasing nutrients slowly, steadily, exactly when plants need them, not all at once in a big dump that mostly washes away. The fungi form these partnerships with plant roots called mycorrhizae, extending their reach and helping them find water and nutrients that would otherwise be out of reach. Some of these fungal networks can extend the effective root zone of a plant by 10 times or more. The bacteria protect against diseases. They colonize the area around roots and crowd out the pathogens that would otherwise attack your plants. Some of them even produce natural antibiotics. The whole food web creates this buffer that helps plants handle stress, whether that's drought, heat, or pest pressure. And here's something most people don't realize. Plants actually feed this system. They release sugars and other compounds from their roots to attract and feed beneficial microbes. It's this beautiful partnership where plants and soil life work together. The plant feeds the microbes feed the plant. Everyone wins. This is where something like fancy chicken makes total sense. It's already gone through this whole process we've been talking about. It's composted chicken manure, which means it started with high nitrogen content, got balanced out with carbon sources, heated up to kill pathogens and weed seeds, and became home to all these beneficial microbes. When you add it to your soil, you're not just adding nutrients, you're adding millions of workers ready to start improving your soil immediately. The microbes in properly composted fertilizer like this don't need time to develop. They're already there, they're already active. They start interacting with your existing soil biology right away, breaking down what needs breaking down, making nutrients available, building soil structure so water and air can move through better. And because it's composted, it won't burn your plants like fresh manure would. Fresh manure is too hot, too high in ammonia. It can literally kill plants. But composted manure, the nutrients are stable but available. The biology is active but balanced. The ratios are right. It's essentially bringing all that science we just talked about, all those carbon-nitrogen ratios, all that microbial diversity, straight to your garden in a form that works from day one. Look, you can spend months trying to build great compost yourself, and you absolutely should. It's rewarding, it's economical, and it teaches you so much about how nature works, but having something like fancy chicken on hand means you can start feeding that soil life immediately while your own compost develops. You're essentially jump-starting the whole process with microbes that are ready to work right now, not 6 months from now. That's the real secret behind compost that actually works. It's not magic, it's biology, it's chemistry, it's understanding that healthy plants don't just need nutrients, they need living soil. And living soil starts with the right balance of carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and billions of tiny organisms working together in ways we're only beginning to understand. When you get all these pieces right, when you create the conditions for this invisible world to thrive, that's when your garden goes from surviving to absolutely thriving.